In Elk City, Oklahoma, 4 minutes after 7 o'clock. This morning, what was I looking at this morning? It was a calendar, maybe. It was one of those old with the Norman Rockwell pictures.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was a calendar.
Grew up with those.
It was some of those Colby Brewster Grandview Pharmacy calendars, and you got these Norman Rockwell pictures, and it was something, it was called Commuters, okay? It's people standing at a train station, waiting on the train, and every other person's got a newspaper they're reading. And I thought, well, first of all, I thought that probably today, or that, let me say it this way, probably 100 years ago or 50 years ago, people were probably no better or worse than we are today. The difference is everybody's on their phone now. But 50 years ago, people were reading a newspaper. Was that better or worse? I don't know. Anyway, I was looking at the way people were dressed. You get all these men, and it was wintertime, and women had dresses and men had suits on, and then these long dress coats, and the men wearing hats. I thought about that. It was nice.
You know, people have been commuting a long time. That's one of the things that I certainly take for granted, living in western Oklahoma. My drive to work, I mean, if you live in a western Oklahoma town and work in the same western Oklahoma town, you can probably be at work in less than 10 minutes, maybe less than 5. And that's really nice. Mm-hmm. Even my drive from Elk City to Sayre, it's from the radio station to my parking spot is 15 minutes, which is not that much. If you live in Oklahoma City and you want to go from your house to the grocery store, you're probably going to drive 20 minutes one way, easily, and fighting traffic. And it may take longer. And the more traffic there is, the longer it's going to take. And when I'm in Oklahoma City, it's always nice to get away for a couple of reasons. The first reason is it's nice to get away. You know, see something new, experience something different. You get tired of seeing the same four walls and the same people and the same environment all the time.
Right? You're looking right at me when you said that.
Getting away, so that's nice, but I always, when I go to Oklahoma City, for example, we go to a metropolitan area, highly populated area, I always think, man, I'm glad I live where I do. I'm glad I don't have to fight this traffic every day. Because, Nathan, you and I have lived in the metropolitan area.
Yeah.
We lived in that mess, that rat race, and fought that traffic.
And frankly, Oklahoma City is not nearly as bad as if you lived in Dallas
oh my.
Or Chicago. There's a mess. Landry?
Yeah?
A gentleman we know named this guy?
Yeah?
Said his drive is 45 minutes in the morning and almost an hour home in the evening.
I'm guessing the time differential is due to traffic. Probably more traffic in the evening than in the morning because Chopper Dave flies to work early.
I would think it would be quicker flying, but...
Yeah, there's less air traffic in the morning. In the afternoon, forget about it. See, we grew up hearing about rush hour, which we think that means, well, I guess heavy traffic lasts an hour. Well, in Oklahoma City, especially during school time, rush hour begins somewhere around 3 o'clock when kids are getting picked up from school. And I think it lasts until about 6:30 or 7. So there's a good solid 3 to 4 rush hours in Oklahoma City.
8 minutes after Nathan and Landry, 48 degrees, clear skies. Text line 225-9697. Yes, Chopper Dave has affirmed. Yes. First of all, yes. He says the government shutdown has impacted my daily commute. That's beautiful. I tell you what everybody needs to commute in is one of those nice F-150s from BD. Side by side, stacking them deep, Landry. I mean side by side, like almost like sardines in a can. There's so many of them. Won't you be thankful for that new truck if you get one? Let me, just between you and me, Landry. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Especially if you were a small business owner, particularly some sort of an agricultural type small business owner, and you utilize vehicles in your business, the government will let you write that off against your tax burden. And so towards the end of the year, if you've done particularly well and Uncle Sam starts thinking, See, around Thanksgiving, Uncle Sam's mouth starts watering, not just for turkey, but for the big tax hit people are going to take if they've done well and they're business owners. And so people often look to invest in themselves with a vehicle. so they can get a good vehicle, but then also get it off their taxes. Well, if you don't think Barbara Dyson Ford isn't aware of that and ready to help you with all of your end-of-year vehicle buying to keep your money in your own pocket and not give it to Uncle Sam Needs, Landry, to help you with your needs.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they do at Barbara Dyson Ford, northeast part of Elk City.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I was Chuck Hargrove running the Lincoln Teen Center, Jared did a story about how the Lincoln Teen Center was closing because Chuck Hargrove, who ramrods that deal, put it on Facebook. Because of costs and problems and insurance, it was going to have to close. But then Chuck Hargrove posted on Facebook, since then, looks like the Lincoln Teen Center will be able to stay open after all. The Lincoln Teen Center is in Elk City, the old Lincoln School, which was a school for African-American school children back in the days when Oklahoma and Elk City were segregated. And now it's a hangout for teenagers, specifically after school and that kind of thing. Give them a place to go and be safe and things to do, and they can work on homework and I don't know what all. But they rely on money from donations and grants. This is a not-for-profit deal.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, if I was Chuck, I'd want to make a big push, and especially this time of year when they usually do have their donation drive, their fundraising drive in November. End of the year, you need a tax deduction anyway. You want to keep the Lincoln Teen Center open, I would make that pitch, donate money, tax deductible. Or, Nathan, you and I need to figure out how you can have a radio help tax deduction incentive to give money
That's
to
good.
you. Have we formed an LLC or a 401k or a 501c3, one of those? People can just give us money and then take it off their taxes. Is that a thing? Can we do that?
Well,
Wouldn't it be great if it was?
If we were Robert Kiyosaki, we'd figure out a way to do that.
A 401k or a 501c3 or a C3PO or a R2D2, one of those deals.
Yeah, if we were that rich dad, poor dad guy, we'd figure out a way to get that done. 225-9697. Good morning, you two brewers. Wow, thank you. That's from the text line. That is directly from the text line. What?
Nathan.
225-9697. 48 degrees. Sun has been up now for 3 hours. It is so weird. Yesterday evening, I left work at 5:30 because I stayed late for various reasons, and it was starting to get dark.
And you got frightened.
So when I went to pick up my child from school at 3 o'clock, it just seemed so late.
Isn't it weird in the winter, especially when it's January, and it's dark early, both in the morning and at night? You go to work and it's dark, and by the time you go home, it's dark. And you think, well, I've missed all of today's daylight. I've been at work inside a building.
And then you get confused and you start thinking, how long have I been at work? Did I accidentally spend the night here?
What day is this?
How many days have I been here now?
Am I? Is this where I work? Do I live here too?
Here's what I want to know. I want to ask our listeners this question. Do you think kids are involved in sports, in organized team sports now at the same level they were 10 or 20 or 30 years ago? And I asked this question because Saturday evening when I was watching the OU Tennessee football game, they came back from a commercial and they flashed a picture or two on the screen, and Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler said the following. The picture was Josh Heupel, a Tennessee coach, Brent Venables, OU coach, and there was some organization. I don't even remember the name of it. But the guys doing the game said, these two coaches both support this organization to help encourage kids to play sports, and they gave some statistic. It was something like only 38% of all kids ages whatever to whatever, 6th through 12th grade maybe. I don't remember exactly. It was something like that. 38% of kids in the 6th through the 12th grade, only 38% play organized sports. And I got to thinking about that. When Landry and I were little.
What was your initial reaction to that? Was it similar to mine? I mean, my gut reaction was, wow, that seems low. But then...
I can see the older you get, that thinning out. I could see it being 38% certainly by high school. But in the 1980s, 40 years ago, in the 1980s, when Landry and I were very young, let's say when we were 10 years old, okay, let's pick that number. So that would be 1986. When you look around, there wasn't a lot to do for kids. I mean, just a lot to do as far as, certainly we didn't have phones. So you either, when you went to school, okay, you're at school, and then you come home and you're either going to watch TV or what? Go outside and play, ride bikes, or play sports. You can go play ball. You might have had an Atari. A few kids had an Atari, okay? Before there was Sega, before there was PlayStation, there was Atari. A few had that, but nearly all the kids we knew played ball, and we played ball. We loved it. Landry and I, for whatever reason, it's not like we had parents pushing it on us. They didn't. We pushed it on our parents. We loved organized sports, or we loved playing sports, I'll say it that way. And so when we were 6 years old, we started playing t-ball and loved it. And then when we were 7, we started playing Little League baseball in the summer.
Loved it.
And when we were 7, we started playing rec soccer.
Loved it.
And loved it. It was the highlight of our life. It's all we wanted to do. It was we loved it. Now, attrition occurred. The older you get, and it seemed like everybody we knew played ball too. I mean, the fields were packed, but the older you get, and it's always been this way, the older you get, the more kids drop out because you realize, it's not my future.
Right.
I don't love it, or I'm not as good at it, or I'd rather do other things. That's fine. I understand that. But then fast forward to this past Saturday night, and the statistic, I'm getting it wrong, but they said something like 38% of kids ages 12 through 18, 6th grade through 12th grade, something like that, only 38% played organized sports. And is that low? Is it average? I don't know. And that's why I'm wondering in our audience, do you think there are more kids, same number of kids, or fewer kids now playing organized sports? Kids, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 years old, playing organized sports than when you were a kid? Just from experience, I've got 4 children. 3 of them have played an organized sport. I got one who's never played any. He just never played any. And the 3 who did play it, they played it and it was okay, but it's not like my kids just love sports. Not like I did. I loved it. First chance that Landry and I could get to play organized sports, we did. We were 7 years old. And if they'd have had it for 6-year-olds, we'd have done it. No, excuse me, 6-year-old was t-ball. When we wanted to. We wanted to play ball. We loved it. I don't know why, but we did. But Landry, my own experience was the older I got, the less interested I became in sports, simply because it's such for various reasons. The time commitment. When you get into school and you've got people who've been hired to coach you and their job is determined largely by whether they win ball games, they take it far more seriously and they demand you take it seriously. And you're going to spend an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours, 5 days a week practicing that sport.
And then they also want you to practice or condition out of season,
Mm-hmm.
in the off season when you're not playing other sports. And in my experience, Nathan, sports became less pleasant the
Mm-hmm.
older I got. It was less fun. We played ball when we were little because it was fun. It was fun. It was we wanted to watch ball. We wanted to play ball, and sometimes we did both. Nathan and I would watch football, and at halftime, we would go out and play catch.
Mm-hmm.
Or we would watch basketball, and at halftime, we'd go out and shoot hoops. We'd play basketball, and we would play basketball.
I have to run back inside. We'd be running back inside.
Yes.
Is the game back on? Is it no, it's not back on. Let's go play catch.
We would play catch in the house and break things.
Yeah.
And we would play basketball. We had Nerf ball, a little hoop, and then we got one Christmas, we got the Larry Bird. It was a hoop, a basketball goal that was for the inside, and it stood up, 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and we had a big Nerf basketball, and we just wore that thing out. And we loved playing ball, and we loved watching it, and it was fun. And the older we got, the less fun sports were. And so we went from playing everything under the sun to my senior year of high school, I only played one sport. I played tennis. I'd stopped playing football. I'd stopped playing basketball. I hadn't played baseball since Little League. I wanted to play everything under the sun when I was 8 years old, and by the time I was 18, by the time you're 18, if you know you're not going to go on to play a sport, you have other things the rest of your life ahead of you, and sports probably not a big part of that, kids lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
And that was me. I was interested in my girlfriend, and that was about it. Really. I wasn't trying too hard in class. I just wanted to get through. And so I played one sport, and that was it.
So you got this organization, I don't remember the name of it, and allegedly Brent Venables and Josh Heupel are a part of it or support it or something. And the whole purpose of the organization is to get more kids playing ball. And yes, there are physical benefits to playing sport. You're moving, you're exercising. It socializes you. You're forced to interact. If you're on a team, you're forced to interact with other people, and that's good. Human interaction is good. It also teaches you discipline. It teaches you hard work. It teaches you to work together as a team. So there are benefits to playing sports. My question is, and I don't know the answer to this, are fewer kids playing ball? And if that is the case, why? Are there fewer 12-year-olds? I mean, forget high school. Are there fewer 12-year-olds playing ball now than there were in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago?
Yeah, that 38%, what was the percentage 10 years ago and 20 and 30? If it is falling, why?
That's what I would like to know. Is it because there's just so much more to do now than there was 20 or 30 or 40 years ago? Is it because everybody's got a phone? Every 12-year-old has a phone? I nearly hit a kid on Halloween, Landry. It was getting dark. In fact, I think it was dark. It was about 7:15, and I'm driving home. And I'm at a four-way stop, and it's getting dark. And it turns out there was a young lady, I don't know, I'll say 12 years old, dressed as a witch in black.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see.
Dangerous.
She was walking across the street. Now, I can't verify with certainty that she was looking at the phone, but I know this. She had a phone in her hand and was holding it up, and I don't think she saw me. But my point is, with every 12-year-old having a phone and being in constant communication with the world, are 12-year-olds interested in something like sports where they've got to put their phone down and go run and catch and play and follow instruction and interact with others physically?
I know that high school coaches have to recruit within their own school systems. When Nathan and I were in high school, the football coach, tried to get us to play ball because you need bodies.
Right.
And you need athletes. I get that. I just wonder, is it the case that now coaches are having a harder time fielding teams at the high school level because of a lack of interest among high school kids to play ball? Are they seeing it? Do they see it in junior high? Do they see it in high school? Is this a trend locally? Is it a trend nationally? Is there something to this? Or is it just the same as it's always been, where only a segment of the population is going to play sports? Are the numbers falling? If so, why?
22 minutes after 7 o'clock, 96.5 KECO is the early morning show. So part of it probably has to do with technology and there being more stuff for kids to do today. I wonder how much of it is owed to what I'm going to call the enhanced professionalization of youth sports. Now, I know there's always been pressure to win in high school. There just has, always. And for us, that ticked up in junior high. It's really started in junior high. Coaches are serious about it. They're taking it serious and making demands on you and, get really intense. But I'm wondering now, how intense are youth coaches? How serious are youth coaches taking it? Is winning the most important thing? If you coach 10 or 12-year-old kids, is winning the most important thing? Or are they still emphasizing learning how to play the game, learning to work hard, learning the fundamentals, and having fun?
I wonder if the winnowing, the thinning out among the kids who play, is it happening because at younger and younger ages, sports are becoming more competitive? The competitive league, the traveling team.
Uh-huh. AAU.
Yeah, when Nathan and I were playing sports soccer growing up, this was just recreational soccer in Elk City.
Everybody gets to play.
Everybody gets to play. You pay your $10 or your $20. Everybody gets to play.
And in fact, there was a rule. Every kid had to play at least half the game.
But I'm wondering, is it the case that with younger and younger kids, it's becoming more competitive, and so we're moving away from the recreational sports and the more competitive
and so early traveling teams. Now
the winnowing is happening at earlier ages.
Yeah, so kids who know, look, I'm not a great athlete, and I'm not going to start.
Right.
No, but I'm not. If you know you're not going to get to play at all, why even try?
Right. If you're not going to make the traveling team, then if there might not be a recreational team, and if there is, well, what's the point?
96.5 KECO is the early morning show. I think some school sports are down some, but I know travel teams away from school are up. Some kids I knew went to organized crime. Worst thing in mankind's history, the internet and smart devices.
Mm.
These are all from the text line.
225-9697.
I believe it is where you come from, the program, the tradition, the honor of winning. If the school you go to wins frequently, you will have more kids. If you lose frequently, you do not want to play. And then somebody else. Let's see. The ultra competitiveness and push towards travel ball has pushed a lot of younger kids out.
Mm-hmm.
The cost is too high and the coaches are too serious. That's from one listener. 225-9697. If youth sports numbers are down, and first of all, are they down? Number one. Number two, if they are, why? Why is that? I can only speak from my own experience. When Landry and I were 10, 12 years old, we wanted nothing more than to play ball. And when we could start playing organized sports, organized on a team, it was just Little League. I mean, my fondest athletic memories are not from high school. They are not from junior high. They are from when I was playing soccer on a Saturday morning at the Paul Peeler Soccer Complex. When you and I were playing Little League baseball,
That was fun.
I felt so grown up.
I know. It was so fun.
And then when Mark Hurd, 6th grade, when we were finally able at school to play on organized teams, 6th grade basketball, 5th grade basketball,
Right.
and then 6th grade they got football. I just liked to wet myself. I was so excited. That was so much fun. And then the older we got, the less fun it got because the coaches get more serious and there's a bigger time demand on you.
And you realize as a little kid, you think you're the greatest player in the world.
Yeah.
Because a part of it is just it's imagination, and it's, you're living out dreams, and you watch ball on TV and you can be like they are, and you think, when I grow up I want to be a football player. And then you get older and you realize, wow, some of these kids, they get muscles and they're fast and they can jump.
I'm
not as good at that.
The older I got, the slower I got and the smaller I got. Okay?
Uh-huh.
I was getting slow and small as everybody else is faster and bigger and stronger. I'm getting slower and smaller, it seems.
In the 8th grade football team, much of practice was spent being tackling dummies for the 9th grade team. So here, you stand here and hold this tackling dummy. We're going to let these 9th graders run at you as fast as they can and hit you really hard. And don't move. And I didn't play football after 8th grade.
Yeah, I got tired of being a tackling dummy. I got tired of getting hit. It hurt.
Yeah.
I got tired of getting hit.
Hitting never hurt. Getting hit
Oh,
hurt.
listen, when we were in the 6th grade and started playing organized football, I had more fun on defense than I did on offense.
Playing linebacker?
We got to play linebacker.
That was fun.
I was Brian Bosworth. When I was in the 6th grade, I got 2 hit people, and it was fun. But on the other side, when I got hit, I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was less fun.
And once we got into junior high, it seems like I was getting hit a lot.
Stand here and let somebody else run full speed and run into you and hit you really hard. No thanks. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with football.
From the text line, when your kids are very little, 5 through 12, if you want them to play, you be the volunteer coach.
True.
My kids played every sport, but I volunteer coached. It is what it is. I coached soccer, t-ball, and helped with basketball. I either head coached or helped coach a total of 3 sports.
Yeah, I did soccer, I did softball, and I'm trying to remember, did my wife help with basketball one year? Her friend was coaching maybe, but yeah, I did several seasons of coaching.
28 minutes after the hour, 96.5 KECO's The Early Morning Show, 48.5 degrees. Sun up. We're going to get in the mid-70s again. After a busy spring and summer, you want to put the tractor up, but before you do the maintenance so it'll work like you need it to next spring. Do all the maintenance thanks to Camrock Supply next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Are fewer kids playing youth sports? I'm talking about little kids from ages 5 or 6 to age 13. Are fewer preteens playing sports? That's what I'm really wondering about, and if so, why? 225-9697. Text us and let us know.
Nathan and Landry have to spray their throats with honey and lemon now. The Early Morning Show on KECO.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. we will stop what we're doing. And if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with the oil field, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the oil field, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in the Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
Driving down 3rd Street in Elk City, you've seen all the beautiful work on the outside. Now it's time to see what they've done inside their new location. Grandview Pharmacy and Gifts has moved down the road right on time for the holidays. Take a look Friday and Saturday, November 14th and 15th, during their Christmas open house. Enjoy their famous wassail and other refreshments while you shop. In fact, Surf Bar will be there too. When you check out, you'll draw from a deck of cards for your discount. 20%, 30%, or 40% off. Sign up to win the big prizes. They always do big prizes at the Christmas open house. Take advantage of the hat bar, etched cowgirl hats. Get started on your Christmas shopping. Grab the stocking stuffers. Freshen up your Christmas decor. Grandview Pharmacy and Gifts Christmas Open House. Friday and Saturday, November 14th and 15th at their brand new location.
Grandview Pharmacy and Gifts, now located at 1503 West 3rd Street in Elk City.
Get the cotton out of the field, through the gin, and out on the market. You're in a race against the clock. Time is money. We know you're in a hurry and we want to help you get down the road. But we'll slow the gin down if that's what your cotton needs. Sometimes slowing down just a little bit means a better quality and better grades. Sometimes. Every field is different and we customize our process based on what your cotton needs. Now don't get me wrong. We want to serve as many customers as we can so we can make money. But if dropping the speed of the gin just a little is better for your cotton, we'll do it so you can make more money. Just ask Jimmy and Spencer Smith. They switched to Carson County Gin a couple of years ago, and they're still with us. Their cotton got a better grade, so it brought a better price. If you'll Google Carson County Gin, you'll find us. We're near White Deer, Texas, west of Pampa. Cleaner cotton means a better grade. We run our gin to get you the best grade possible.
Do farmers and ranchers need different kinds of tires?
Yes, they do. The farmers and ranchers, generally need a heavy ply tire because they're always pulling a trailer, got hay bales, have equipment. They generally have a lot of tires on the ground. Trailers and trucks and equipment.
Is the lifespan of their tires different from a regular passenger?
Correct. Yes, they are. They generally are a little bit less just because they are abused more than an average customer. They need a good set of tires because if they're down for a day, they're in trouble. It is costing them money. They should go to L&R Tire. We have them in stock and we know what they need.
Why have they used you through the years?
Good service. Like I said, we always generally have the tires in stock and we treat them with respect. L&R Tire, 1204 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, the home of Bridgestone Firestone tires. At L&R Tire, we'll take good care of your vehicle.
96.5 KECO is the early morning show. What if before you needed those hoses, you already had them? What if you had the replacements on hand? What if in your shed or your barn or your attic or your basement or your chicken coop, wherever you keep your stuff, what if you had the hoses and fittings you needed? American Hose and Supply is inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. 225-9697. I guess you heard me just now talking about the carnival. Oh, it's coming back, Landry. They're already putting it up on the west side of Elk City. So you better get ready Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And those all-you-can-ride wristbands, that's the deal. I also didn't know about the food. The food is a big deal. They're the concessions. They do gourmet funnel cakes, okay? It's not like they just, all right, let's thaw out some bread and dip it in some grease and put sugar on it. They have homemade whipped cream and fresh strawberries that go with their funnel cakes.
Oh, wow.
Slow-roasted turkey legs, okay? Caramel apples, fresh squeezed lemonade, and cherry limeade.
You ever had a caramel apple?
Yes.
Oh, they're delicious.
It's autumn, Landry. It's the taste of autumn.
The apple is really just an occasion to eat the caramel.
Yes, we all know that. That's right.
That's really all that anybody cares about. Man, those are good. Now that's all I'm going to think about.
49 degrees on our way to the mid-70s. Your forecast coming up in just a little bit more. 7:34. Text us at 225-9697. You can weigh in or not. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care about youth sports or kids. I don't know. Are more or less kids playing youth sports? Because according to Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler, Saturday night in the football game, they told us that only 38%, something like 38% of kids are in organized youth sports, and people are worried about it. I don't know.
Nathan, the nice thing about college football season is I often only have to come up with one movie over the weekend to watch instead of two, because Saturday night sometimes it's football.
Right.
And that's what it was Saturday night. So I didn't have to come up with anything to watch Saturday night because I was watching a OU football game at Tennessee at Rocky Top. But Friday night, I rewatched a movie called One Perfect Match, a rom-com from 2024, starring Joshua Sass and Merritt Patterson.
No one has ever heard of this, have they?
I've watched this movie twice, and I've still never heard of these people or this movie. It was good enough. You know, it's one of those, it's one of those 6 out of 10 movies that, you know, if you need to do something else, if you need to play a crossword puzzle on your phone, you can just sit there. It's nice. I rewatched it. A guy and a gal wind up together. The gal owns a matchmaking service. The guy is some sort of executive whose family owns property, and he's looking for a girlfriend. So he goes to the matchmaker, and the matchmaker likes him, and he likes her, but the matchmaker tries to put him with another gal, and it doesn't work. And surprise, surprise, the two of them wind up together, and it's one perfect match.
Friday night, I watched the Jennifer Lopez movie, Marry Me, from 2024 with Owen Wilson. And she's a big-time singer, and he's just a dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's a single dad. And her guy has been stepping out on her, so instead of marrying him, she ridiculously marries Luke Wilson. Or is it Owen? Which one is it? Owen, yeah.
Yeah, Owen.
Owen Wilson. And then
because he shows up to the concert with his daughter, because the daughter's a big fan, and he holds up a sign that says "Marry Me" or "I love you."
Yeah,
or,
because
what's the deal?
that was the name of a song.
Pull My Finger or something.
And then they quote get married. Right, that was legal. And then of course it's just this weird arrangement, and then they get
married at the concert.
Yes, and then they get to know each other and fall in love, and isn't it wonderful? That's the movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I watched.
Yeah, totally believable. 225-9697, the early morning show. Landry, Nathan, you.
One of our listeners says this: drive to the Fiveplex on a T-ball Friday night when there's no parking and 5,000 people between the two complexes, and tell me there's a decrease in youth sports. Ha ha.
You know, there's a lot of people.
That's true.
Show up to them ball games. A lot of kids playing ball. And so, you know, somebody flashes a percentage. Well, if only 38% of kids are playing ball, and then you have to question that. First of all,
I don't know.
Is that lower than it used to be? Or is it about the same? And is that really accurate? Is that accurate here where we live? I don't know. There's just a thinning process. As kids age, they're less interested in sports for all the reasons we've talked about and probably others we have.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to figure out, though, Landry. Why is it all elementary schools in the world are larger than all junior highs in the world? You telling me kids are dropping out in middle school?
Some are. Some are going to jail. Some are. I don't know what the law is about when you can stop going to school. I really don't. I don't know what the law is, but it could be the case. Some people are getting in trouble, going to juvie, going to jail. Maybe people are having to drop out of the work, out of school to join the labor force. I don't know, but you're right.
This year's first grade class everywhere is larger now than it will be 10 years from now. When they're in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, let's say 6 years. In 6 years, this year's first grade class is much larger than it will be 6 years from now when it's the 7th grade class. How is that the case? Where are these kids going? The Navy? Are they joining the Navy in the 6th or 7th grade? How does that happen?
I don't know. But Chopper Dave is weighing in. And while you're reading that and thinking about it, here's what I've told all my kids. I say, occasionally they play ball, various sports, and I say, are you having fun?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not having fun, it's time to stop. If you're not having fun. And by the way, that also applies to other extracurricular activities. I appreciate extracurricular activities. They give kids an opportunity to participate in things, to learn things, to grow intellectually and emotionally, and it gives them an opportunity to do things and try things and develop skills and work hard and be part of something that's larger than themselves. However, it's also important to remember that everybody has to do what's in their own best interest and what they enjoy doing. And remember, you don't owe. If you start something one year, you need to stay with that until it's over. That's fine. But once the season ends, once the school year ends, you're under no obligation to do that same thing or those things the next year, those extracurriculars. And don't ever let anybody try to guilt you into coming back. Well, you owe it to be on this team, or you owe it to be in this group, this activity. No, you don't. You owe it to yourself to be happy, to go to school and to learn and to figure out who you are in life and what to do with your life. 225-9697. Nathan, last night I took a page out of your book. I know last year you watched, 44 Christmas/holiday movies.
Mm-hmm.
Last night I watched one. I rewatched one from your list.
Which
from
one?
Last year's list. Holiday Engagement.
I don't remember what that one
Starring
is.
Jordan Bridges, Bonnie Somerville, and a woman named Shelley Long. And a guy named Sam McMurray, who you'd recognize if you saw him. A gal and her boyfriend break up. She has just won a trip for two to Carmen del Playa, Mexico, on a radio station. And she and her fiancé wind up breaking up. The male, the guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's a lawyer, but he decides she's too much and doesn't want to be with her. And she's already told her parents they're coming for Thanksgiving, and her mother, Shelley Long, is telling her she's going to become a spinster and she needs to get married and she's a failure unless she's married. And so now she feels obligated to bring a guy pretending to be her fiance. So she hires an actor played by Jordan Bridges.
Now I remember.
And out of work, he was selling phones and he's a barista, but he's an actor. And so he pretends to be her fiance.
Yeah.
And then
That's
they
right.
wind up, of course, together.
I remember that one. I
And so
remember
I
that
watched
one.
it last night, and it was a 5.5, 6. Something to watch, different, holiday.
18 away from the top, 96.5 KECO's The Early Morning Show. Are the numbers from Chopper Dave? Are the numbers lower in the higher grades because of the way parents and adults treat kids when they are younger? Good question. Here's more. Don't say my name on the radio. I won't. Don't say my name on the radio. But just wanted to throw out there that basketball, baseball, football, soccer are not the only sports out there. You still got gymnastics, competitive cheer, dance, shotgun shooting sports that are all a conditioning sport. If you think shooting is not a conditioning athletic sport, you should try to go shoot 300 rounds of 12-gauge shotgun shells. All of the above just to say it looks like maybe as many aren't playing any sort of a ball game, but they have spread out through these other sports, and which may very well be possible, particularly right here. What this listener just said may be quite possible here.
You know, a lot of schools have esports. Kids play games. And I just wonder, if you participate in esports, does that count? Are you part of that figure? And if not, maybe that's part of why there are fewer kids playing traditional sports, athletics, basketball and baseball and football and the others, because they're doing other things like esports.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you also have more kids, in junior high, that's when kids, middle school, fifth grade, sixth grade, at least in Elk City and other schools with bands, kids start performing in the band. And you can be in band and be in athletics, but sometimes the time constraints are such that it's difficult, and some kids choose band, which is fine, if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no doubt. You know what? We've had some great conversation this morning.
No question. No question,
It has
Nathan.
been fabulous. The way we have just been conversing and talking and doing. We just do and do, Landry.
Mm-hmm.
We have just done and done, do and do. 16 minutes away from the top. Little long in segment 1, little long in segment 2. We're going to come back with you weather and more. Early morning show.
The caffeinated conversation continues on the early morning show right after this.
Briley Bacca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Every dollar you save for retirement has a silent partner, and it's your crazy Uncle Sam. He's waiting with his hand out, ready to take a chunk of your IRA, your 401k, and even your Social Security if you're not careful. But here's the truth. You can fight back. With the right strategy, you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket and out of Washington's. At Advanced Financial Strategies, we specialize in family wealth management, helping families in Western Oklahoma cut down on future tax bills, maximize income, and keep control of their financial future. Don't wait for the IRS to decide how much of your retirement you get to keep. Call me, Briley Bacca, a certified financial planner professional here in Clinton, at 323-6800 or visit our website, retirewithbacca.com. Advanced Financial Strategies, your money, your future, your choice.
Are you ready to look and feel your best? Head on over to Southwest Dentistry and Cosmetics and come see me, Dr. Jamie Cameron. We have specials going on right now through the end of November. Get Botox for just $10 a unit, or take $100 off each syringe of cheek or lip filler. Get a lip flip for only $40. Aging is inevitable, but we can help you minimize the effects without looking like some bad plastic surgery patient. We can help you get back to the best version of yourself. While you're here, help make a difference this Christmas. Southwest Dentistry and Cosmetics is collecting toys for local kids in need. Things like coloring books, puzzles, dolls, or stuffed animals.
I'm Dr. Jamie Cameron, Southwest Dentistry and Cosmetics in Weatherford.
On the corner of Main and Washington,
swdentalok.com.
So there's a company out there that has a certain color. All the farmers and stuff think their oil has to be used in those certain color of tractors, and it's just not true. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. I use it at our place. My son uses it for our colored tractors that we have, and a lot of other farmers use it too. It's the same oil, specifications are the same. It's kind of a myth where they think that it's got to be that certain type of oil for that color of tractor. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Milk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil.
You got to get your oil changed, but taking time out of your day can be a hassle. We've got your answer. We'll come get your vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you. You keep living your life, and we'll take care of the legwork. Any make or model, no matter where you bought it, just give us a call and make an appointment. We'll come get it, do the work, and bring it back to you. Make your life a little bit easier with a no-hassle oil change, where that is the Barbara Dyson difference. Only at BarbaraDysonFord.net.
Catch me, Paragon News Director Jared Atha, with the latest local news at 5 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Presented by Mickey Lively, your Farm Bureau agent in Greer County.
13 minutes away from the top, 96.5 KECO is the early morning show. They have licensure, Landry. They're licensed to do electrical work. They have insurance. They have gone to an insurance provider and said, yes, we would like to be insured. I'm talking about Carter Electric. When they step on your place, rest easy. Carter Electric. This afternoon, sunny and 78. South winds 10 to 20, gusting to 30. Boo. Mostly clear tonight, low 47. And tomorrow, 71. Today, 78. Tomorrow, 71. Right now, 49 degrees on the back porch. Skies clear. Winds are mostly light, I think. Maybe. 96.5 KECO is the early morning show. Landry, Dick Cheney died. Your vice president, Dick Cheney, has passed away. He was 84 years old. Frankly, I'm a little surprised he lived this long because he had many heart attacks. I don't mean one or two. He had many heart attacks, like 4 or 5 episodes with his heart. But he finally passed away. He's been called, Landry, the most powerful vice president ever and the most controversial. How do you feel about those titles?
When Nathan and I were in junior high, a man named George Bush was president. George Sr., not George Jr.
That's
George
right.
Herbert Walker Bush. And that's when we kind of sort of started paying attention to current events and politics. And a guy named Dick Cheney was Secretary of Defense during an event called Operation Desert Storm. Iraq won the Gulf War. 1991.
That's right.
And that's where we first learned about him. And then fast forward to George W. Bush's presidency, he becomes vice president. And he had poor health. And movies have been made. In fact, wasn't there a movie made starring Christian Bale? Was Christian Bale Dick Cheney in a movie?
Yeah,
About
Vice.
Was it Vice?
The name of the, because that's what W called Dick Cheney, referred to him as Vice.
Everybody knew that Dick Cheney was not, as vice president, was not going to try to be the next president.
That's right.
He was just there.
He was free to be Dick Cheney.
He was there free to be Dick Cheney, and very, very influential, very controversial. Got to start working for Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
Way back when. President Gerald Ford.
He was deputy chief of staff to Don Rumsfeld, and then Donald Rumsfeld became Secretary of Defense, and so Dick Cheney became the chief of staff at a very young age for then President Gerald Ford. In the 70s, man.
And then when W became president, he said, I like that Gerald Ford bunch. I want Dick Cheney and Don Rumsfeld. So Dick Cheney became the vice president. Don Rumsfeld reprised his role as SecDef, Secretary of Defense, and we got into some trouble.
Elk City playing its last regular season football game this Friday night. Elk City hosting Woodward, closing out the regular season at home. Pregame at 6:15, kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can watch or listen. BigElkTV.com, Cool 94.3, brought to you by Bank of Western Oklahoma. And speaking of Bank of Western Oklahoma, Paragon TV, final regular season football game, Watonga at Merritt. Merritt hosting Watonga. Friday night kickoff at 7 o'clock, ParagonTV.com.
Nathan, like a lot of people, the internet says Clemson's head football coach Dabo Swinney was linked to the Alabama coaching job when Nick Saban retired in 2024. Apparently, he had a conversation. Did you know that Dabo went to school at Alabama, and then he coached at Alabama?
He was an assistant, right?
He played, he was on the 92 national championship team there, and then he was an assistant from 96 to 2000. He's been at Clemson a long time, though. But according to Dabo Swinney himself, in a story on the internet, when the job came open, Alabama's athletic director, Greg Byrne, reached out. Wait a minute. He said Nick called me. Is Greg Byrne also called Nick? Oh, no, it was Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Nick called me the next morning early, and we had a good conversation about a lot of things, where I'm supposed to be, and that's the main thing Swinney said. I mean, listen, I knew that question would always be there. And again, I think they hired a great coach. And man, I love Alabama and always have, always will, and will always pull for Alabama, except for when we play. But after 23 years, this is my home. This makes it sound like he wasn't asked about the job.
Well, there's a story in USA Today, and it's really more of a feature written by Matt Hayes. Clemson has now lost 5 games this season. Preseason, they were a top 5 team. I mean, they were being talked about seriously as contending for the national championship, and they have done. They've fallen far short of expectations this year, and they lost this past Saturday at home to Duke. And there's even footage of Swinney on the sideline just berating his defense, and it's just a bad look. This story by Matt Hayes says that he should have left 2 years ago to take the Alabama job. Dabo Swinney should have left Clemson 2 years ago for Alabama, avoided inevitable fall. I don't know if what happens. Do people? I mean, Swinney. It's not like he's not 75. He's probably, is he even 60?
Do circumstances change and players change, and some coaches just don't change with them? Because Nick Saban, is he older? Was at Alabama a long time, and he was very successful.
But for some reason, they've had a little bit of what OU's had. They have missed on 3 5-star quarterbacks.
Wow.
This DJ Ukulele, I don't know. I can't pronounce it. DJ, remember him? DJ Ukulele? Cade Klubnik and Christopher Vizina. All 3 of them were 5-star quarterbacks, and all of them didn't work.
I thought all the 5-star quarterbacks who washed out all went to OU.
Well, maybe they'll transfer to OU.
I heard. By the way, did you hear that Jackson Arnold got benched?
No. Oh, Hugh Freeze was desperate, and he was about to get fired. So, Dabo Swinney should have left Clemson 2 years ago for Alabama, avoided inevitable fall. Well, what if he had gone? I mean, if the game's passing him by, if is it the situation or is it Dabo winning?
I don't know.
Would he have done any better at Alabama? I don't know the answer. I don't know what's going on in college ball anymore. I really, really don't. Do you?
It's because of only 38% of kids are playing ball to begin with.
Good morning, sunny and 53. This is the Paragon Morning News. I'm Jared Aitha. Weatherford police say a woman faces a felony charge after a short pursuit. On Saturday, October 18th, prosecutors charged 33-year-old Janelle Francis Harper with endangering others while eluding an officer. The case was filed on October 20th in Custer County District Court. According to a probable cause affidavit, an officer found a suspicious white 2012 Chevy Impala on Crimson Drive in Weatherford. The driver rolled up on her window and drove off. Police say she failed to signal, ran a stop sign, passed several cars, and swerved around a marked unit on Washington Street. A tactical intervention near Washington and Eads disabled the car. Harper was detained and booked into the Weatherford City Jail. She also faces 2 traffic complaints. The felony carries 1 to 5 years in prison and a fine of $1,000 to $5,000. A 55-year-old man from Ripon, California, was injured Saturday night in a crash 2 miles south of Snyder, according to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Troopers said the crash occurred at 10:39 p.m. on U.S. Highway 62 near North 2260 Road in Kiowa County. The vehicle left the roadway to the right and struck a railroad crossing pole. The driver's name has been withheld pending notification of family. He was the only person in the vehicle and was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. No fatalities were reported. The crash remains under investigation by the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Elk City Elementary and Intermediate Schools are inviting families to join a simple habit with a big payoff. Superintendent Mike Sparks says the district will roll out a 30-day Read Aloud challenge that asks parents, grandparents, and caregivers to read with their student 5 minutes a day.
We're just asking families to spend 5 minutes a day for 30 days reading aloud, and then we want families to take a picture of it or a short video, post it to their Facebook, and then tag us at For the Brown and White. And we want to try to fill up our social media pages with our kids and their families, reading. And the cool part about it is Mrs. Buckmaster, who runs all of our federal programs, is going to be able to purchase the books. The students are going to get to pick a book, but they're going to get to keep it.
The challenge will run for students in pre-K through 6th grade. Sparks says the district has shared full details and forms on its social media channels so students can choose their books and get started. These stories and more on our Facebook page and website. Sunny right now in 53. This has been the Paragon Morning News. I'm Jared Aitha.
Millions of dollars in equipment plus the best concessions you'll find anywhere mean one thing. Your kids and grandkids are going to have a ball at the carnival on the west side of Elk City. Games for all ages with lots of prizes. Fun rides for the little ones. Thrilling rides for the bigger kids. Save big and keep riding with unlimited ride wristbands. Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m., just $30. Friday night, 5 till 11, $35. And it's Kids Day Saturday from noon till 4, only $25. Then Saturday evening, 5 to 11, wristbands are $35. And Sunday afternoon, only $25. Concessions are so good, some people come just to eat. Gourmet funnel cakes with homemade whipped cream and fresh strawberries. Caramel apples. Slow-roasted turkey legs. Cotton candy, fresh squeezed lemonade and cherry limeade, and hand-dipped corn dogs. Your kids and grandkids will make some great memories at the carnival. Thursday through Sunday near the Fiveplex on the west side of Elk City.
Man, that was awesome. That carnival's awesome. 96.5 KECO is the early morning show. Do you know how to build wealth? I'm going to let you in a little secret. Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Every time you get paid, take some of your money and invest it. There it is. That's the simple answer. That's all you have to do every time. You know what? It just never fails if you do it and do it and do it.
Just do and do? Are you telling, is that the do and do doctrine?
Landry, I just hope
the do
you have the
and
latest
do
penny news
doctrine.
Do you even have the latest penny news?
I did not watch a down of the World Series.
I didn't either.
I understand that the Dodgers won it back to back. Oral Hershiser is still throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Tommy Lasorda got those kids coached up. And they won the World Series this year, and they tell me they won it last year, too.
And Dick Cheney was so excited about it.
Bless his heart.
His heart exploded.
Bless his heart. You know, he's from
that?
Wyoming.
Yeah.
You knew that, right?
Richard. That's his given name.
Richard Dick Cheney?
Yeah. Fox News Exploring Energy, Tradio at 10 today, and Ag at noon. Backroads at 3. Country